Are you guys into astrology?
Somewhat.
Cara, maybe? I'm not.
You're not? Do you know what your sign is?
Yes, Pisces.
Okay.
Cancer.
Oh. So it's kind of like a very flowy situation.
All I know
over
is
there.
I'm sensitive, and
But Cancer is also sensitive.
Mm-hmm.
So you guys both really sensitive?
I would say so.
I think I'm more sensitive than you, though.
Well, I mean, depends on what the subject matter is, I feel like, right?
Yeah. What are you?
I'm a Leo. My birthday's mid-August.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
So you're going to have the same birthday as your baby?
yeah, basically. Actually, when's your wedding date?
August 15th.
Okay, so my birthday's 2 days later.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Love. And your dad's birthday is
The next day.
August 16th.
Well, no, 18th.
18th. Okay.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Tristan and Cara, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us. We're so excited.
Yeah, you guys are 2025 couple. You're actively planning. You're kind of at the finish
Very
line. You're
active.
getting really close.
Yeah, like all hours of the day.
Yeah.
I want to hear all about the planning, but for the Loverly audience, I want to kind of get the backstory. Start at the beginning. One, how you guys met and, decided to start creating content together and how people began to follow you and know you and just the story. Give us the journey.
Yeah.
Our origin story. Go ahead, Tris.
Origin story. So yeah, we're Tristan and Cara. We met in college. We both went to Stevens Institute of Technology. It's a small engineering school in Hoboken, New Jersey.
The saying, it's 70% boys. So the saying is, for the girls, the odds are good, but the goods are odd. So basically, like, if you're, not to be mean, like, if you're like a normal person, like, you basically know everyone. It's a very, very small school. So Tristan and I always, like, he's a year older than me. So we knew of each other, but it wasn't until like senior year that we actually like met and started talking.
Yep. Started dating at the end of senior year, graduated, and basically just lived like the city life until COVID, which was 2020.
A lot of people stay in Hoboken after graduation from Stevens. So it's basically like we just had an extra year or two of college. Like we were doing the same things, like going to the same bars, hanging out with the same people, which was fun, obviously. But then COVID hit.
Yep.
And
COVID hit. We got bored. Cara had the amazing idea that she wanted to go camping.
I was like, what can
And I
we
was
do? Like we were so bored. So we decided to go camping.
And we, aside from like a mini panic attack in the middle of the night about bears, had an amazing time.
It was our first time camping. We had no idea what we were doing.
Yeah,
like,
we just like
where
put
did
a
you
tent
go?
in our car. We
the
went,
Finger Lakes.
yeah, Finger Lakes.
Yeah.
Just threw stuff in the car
we
and drove up.
We both were like raised somewhat like outdoorsy and naturey, but like not to the extent that we are now. So we really like learned all of this stuff together. Like we learned like, okay, we're going camping. Like what do we need to bring? So we did all of our research. We got everything. And yeah,
Loved it.
loved it.
Which that kind of like snowballed into, okay, what can we do this weekend? What can we do? And then we started taking flights once flights were kind of happening again. And
Were you working right now or no?
We were
Yeah, we
working,
were
yeah.
working.
So yeah.
And
just
working from home or going into an
Working
office?
from home.
working from home.
Oh my
yeah.
God.
Both
If-
in engineering?
I'm in business.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm
So
engineering.
if we were still working from the office, like I don't think we would have been able to do what we did.
Yep. And it was
So weekend warriors. On the weekend,
It
you're
was-
like, where can we go?
Exactly.
Let's get away. Let's
Yeah.
have an adventure.
exactly.
Yeah.
It
We
was
wanted
every
like
week-
our 5 to 9 after our 9 to 5.
Mm-hmm.
every weekend kept getting a little bit crazier and further
Definitely
away.
pushing the limits with like
Um,
what was acceptable.
Our first like actual trip was St. Thomas, which also kind of like sparked something in us, like in terms of like actually traveling to like via plane. And like I feel like the moment we realized like, wow, like we work well together was in St. Thomas, and we just like have like the same personality when we were
Yeah. And a lot of this was fueled by us wanting to save money because we were like, 24, 23.
Yeah.
So we wanted to travel, but we wanted to find a way to do it inexpensively. So none of these things that I'm about to say would have been a problem if we just would have spent like $10 extra. But we're like, we need to save money. So what Tristan's talking about, I think, is our flight leaving St. Thomas was like 6 p.m., whatever. It was at night, but our checkout was 11 a.m. And we're like, well, what do we do? And I'm like, I want to go to the beach. So we took all of our luggage and like Ubered to the airport, but then walked from the airport to the nearest beach with all of our luggage. So we sat on the beach with our luggage.
Roller suitcases on the beach.
Yeah.
And it was just so, looking back, so embarrassing.
And then after like spending like 5 hours on the beach, we then walked to the airport with our suitcases after spending time on the beach. And like looking back, like we could have just paid for a $10 Uber, but like we were so determined.
We were stretching every dollar at that point to travel.
And were you
more.
creating content at this point, or this just traveling?
Loosely. I've always like had my own personal Instagram and just like always was known for like the photos and like the video, not really videos, honestly, because this was still like 2021 when like TikTok and Reels weren't as big yet. So still documenting, but just like not with like a purpose, if that makes sense.
Cara's personal Instagram page has always been like amazing. So
yeah,
that's kind of how what it bloomed from.
Yeah.
And we had all this travel content after a few trips, and we were like, I don't know if we should annoy our friends with all of these pictures. Let's create like a travel TikTok.
We started on TikTok.
That's where we started. And now we're like doing the travel creation thing like very successfully. We have, I think, like 675,000 followers now across our platforms. So it's like a dream come true.
In 2 years.
How long did it take for your videos to kind of take off? You just started putting it out
like
there?
Kind of immediate. We were like very unprepared for how, not to like brag, but like for how successful we were going to be. And we were kind of figuring things out as we were going. We literally started Instagram 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like it's been crazy.
Yeah. And
what took off first, TikTok or Instagram?
So once we hit 10K on TikTok, which happened like in a couple of months, we're like, should we make an Instagram? Like, should we just like pull trigger and do that? So then we started making the Instagram, and that I think we were at like 100K in like less than 6 months.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dream come true, obviously. It wasn't necessarily our plan though. Like,
should we talk about the outdoorsy thing?
Yeah. I mean, so after St. Thomas, we started like, we wanted to keep the Weekend Warrior thing going, but couldn't necessarily do a bunch of like international travel because we like had,
real job
obligations.
Yeah, exactly. So we started doing like, well, it was a California trip. We did our first camper van, which was like a whole new world for us.
Yeah.
And
this van, if you saw this van on the side of the road, you would be like, let's cross to the other side. Like it was a sketchy van. We got like the bare bones van. You couldn't even stand up inside of it. Like pump sink, like dinky little mattress, like not anything. Like we were, again, trying to save money.
Yep. Picked it up in LA and then drove up the coast of
Tristan
Big
drove
Sur.
with the emergency brake on for 20 minutes.
Not knowing.
That was our first, like, we literally, I'm telling you, we got into the van and then we're driving and I'm like, kind of smells like burning rubber.
Well, that just goes to show the
Emergency brake
e-brake
was on.
like didn't really even work at all.
Good to know this e-brake is not our friend.
Yeah.
We have a lot of like travel mishaps like that. But.
Yeah, so I think we spent like 4 days in that camper van. Drove up to Big Sur, it's beautiful up there, and then drove back down. Then we hit Joshua Tree, and that was our first like camper van trip. And
that was also our first time like truly like on the road and out of service. Like we didn't have cell service for like days, and it was just like we were so connected to each other, and like we're like, wow, like this is what we're doing. Like,
and how long have you been together at this point?
At that point.
Oh, at this point?
3 years?
3
or 4 years.
So you're basically know that this is your person. You know that you guys want to be together. You're traveling. You're doing crazy adventures, getting into sketchy vans.
Yeah. We always joke around that a true relationship test is being in a camper van together for a certain number of days because you see
like minimum 5.
You see everything, and there's nowhere to go. Like you are in the van, like that is your car and that is your hotel all in one.
Yeah, and hopefully the shower works. But.
Yeah. Okay, but finish the story about outdoorsy.
Yeah, so we got like amazing content in California on that camper van trip. We posted, I think, like a 10-picture collage.
I posted it.
You posted it.
I posted it on my personal Instagram.
True.
Tagged Outdoorsy, which is the camper van company that we rented from. So it's basically like Airbnb for camper vans.
But like this was the crappy van.
Yes.
The crappy van, yes.
So we were able to make this crappy van look good.
Okay, I was gonna say, were you talking shit about the van, or were you like, this is the best van ever?
We made it look good.
Okay.
It was good. It's just
we
like
didn't really
funny
show
looking.
the inside. It was like the van parked in front of like an amazing mountain.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's just funny looking back because like we had no idea what the how good it could get compared to this van. So we thought it was like cool at the time.
Yeah.
But essentially, we took all these pictures. I posted a 10-picture collage to my personal Instagram, tagged Outdoorsy. Outdoorsy DM'd me and was like, oh my God, we love these. Like, could we use these on our page? And like, I knew nothing about like usage and rights or anything like that. So I'm like, yeah, sure. Take all of my work and like post it away. So they posted it, and then it went what we call like mini viral. And then all these other camper van pages started posting it like without our permission, which is like fine. Like at that point I was like, oh my God, like
People
it's
care.
happening.
Yeah.
Yeah, like this is so cool and famous. So like gaining a bunch of traction, everyone's like commenting all these amazing things. And then a couple of days passed and it's like still going. And then I'm like, wait a second, like that was mine. Like I want the credit for that. So then I went like full business consultant on them, and I messaged Outdoorsy back with a PowerPoint presentation of like I did
metrics.
I did math. I literally was like, this posted X% better than like your average post, and you gained however many more followers from this, like because I was tracking it. And basically I made like a business case to them of why they should work with us again. And at this point it was just my own personal Instagram page. And they're like, yeah, you're right. Like, do you want to go on another camper van trip for free? And we were like, oh my God, like we made it. Yes. So
they gave you a good one.
They gave us a good one. They gave us a good budget.
Utah was amazing.
So from there, that was our first time we had like deliverables. So we were working so hard. Like we had our tripod, we had all of our equipment to like make sure we were getting good shots and all of that. And I think at that point, we still didn't have our joint travel page. So I was just posting that to my own personal Instagram.
Yep.
And then at that point, we're like, okay, maybe we should make a dedicated page so we're not like annoying our friends anymore. And then that was the birth of TC Travels.
Yep. And then we did like a bunch of more camper van trips with Outdoorsy. Got like when we
built
go on
up like
trip,
a backlog of content.
Yeah.
I think that was what allowed us to be so successful right off the bat, because we had like a whole repository of like so many trips that we had never posted before. So that way, as soon as we made our page, we could post like one reel a day of like every single trip. And we just like were like content machines almost.
Yeah.
And then meanwhile, you still have your 9 to 5s. You're working your regular jobs, and you're going away on the weekends to do these little micro adventures.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
When did brands start reaching out to you about like going to far off places and hosting you guys?
I would say it really picked up when we signed with our manager, because we didn't really know what we were doing. Like this was all so new to us. So we didn't know like what a bad contract was and like what a good contract was, and like perpetuity rights and like
it all
all
happened
that
so
stuff.
fast. We were getting like small deals, thinking like, oh, cool, like they're
extra
paying
money,
us.
we'll take it. Yeah,
exactly.
At one point, we were so unfamiliar with what was happening that we posted the content and never got paid because we convinced ourselves that it was a scam. We're like, there's no way that like they're paying us this much to make
like
this little
a packing
video.
cube company.
Yeah,
like, they just like never responded to an email again after that, and like. Who knows?
Yeah, like we did not know what we were doing. Like we needed a manager.
It's probably just like dangerous to even chase this down. Like they're gonna ask for like some sketchy bank account information.
Yeah,
won't be worth it. But we had like maybe a few deals, and then our current manager reached out to us on Instagram and was like, "Hey, we're starting an outdoor division. We would love for you guys to join. We have one other person right now, but we're trying to grow it." And they just. We hopped on a video call, and like we could tell like they cared, they were real people and just liked their vibe, and we're like, sure, like let's give it a shot. And that's when brands started really like reaching out. I think because like they have like a lot of relationships
contacts.
with contacts, stuff like that.
It was also like us getting our name out there because we were so new. Like we had the same, if not more followers than like the heavy hitter people in the travel space, but like we were so new that like it almost felt like we weren't established yet. So having us like kind of have backup of our manager like reaching out on our behalf was also really nice. Also like to take all the admin and email stuff off of our plate, we're like, yes,
so you could
please.
actually enjoy your trips and your travels and your adventures.
Yes.
Exactly.
So now fast forward, y'all are planning a wedding.
Yes.
Well, first of all, tell us about the proposal and the engagement.
yeah.
So did you know it was coming? Did you help design, plan? Give us the...
Do you want to take it or do you want me to?
You want to share your perspective and then I can share mine?
So I always knew I wanted something epic. Like, I'm an extra girl. Like, I'm proudly very extra. Like, I want like the jaw drop moment. So we had talked about like potential spots.
One thing about Cara is like she speaks her mind with what she wants, and I kind of have to like remember what she says and kind of like put it all on like a mental vision board and create something from all of the feedback.
We work really well together because we always joke about how I'm the ideas girl and he's the logistics guy. Because I have so much going on in my head. I'm like, oh, like we could do this and we could do this. And it's like ping-ponging, and Tristan's like, okay. But what we need to figure this, and this out. Like he like extracts everything from my head and then.
So is he normally the one that plans the logistics of all your travel?
Yeah, I think the idea comes from Cara, and then
I feel like we're like hunter gatherers. Like I'm the I'm like, oh, like I want to do this, and this, but like
and I'm
I don't
like,
know
well,
how.
we can't do this if we don't do that, and then.
He's like, Cara, this is 14 hours away from this.
Yeah.
Like, how are we going to do that in one trip?
And
like
then we find a way regardless.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So I mean, I feel like you give me the idea, I come up with the logistics, and then you tell me what's wrong with the logistics, and then I fix it.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like just an iterative process like that. But
but for the proposal, like we talked about it. Like I knew it was like happening in that vicinity.
I knew she wanted something on a mountain. Like I knew that. She'd been saying it for years, and we had this Hawaii trip coming up in February. And I was like, I wanted to do it in Hawaii just because like the ridge lines there and the mountains there are crazy. But I knew she would not be happy with the beach because it's too mainstream.
I didn't want to do something that anyone could do. Like I wanted it to be different.
So I was like doing all this research, talking to photographers in Hawaii actually. I even I was seconds away from like paying a deposit for one.
For Hawaii.
I was like, I just don't know if this is the spot. Like, I'm like in my head, like I couldn't talk to her about it because I was trying to keep it as much of a secret as possible. So I was like, I just don't think it's like the spot. So
the venue was like the most important thing for you.
Yeah.
Did you already have the ring?
I had the ring in February. Yeah.
And did you help design the ring? Did you
No.
know it was coming?
One thing about me, like I care about a lot of things. Like I just don't really care about jewelry a lot. Like as like bad as that is to say, like it's just not really my thing. I think I have minor claustrophobia. So like when things are just on me, I'm just like even this necklace, I'm like, I can't wait to take this off. Like I honestly don't wear my ring a lot. I wore it today because I'm like, I should probably wear it.
Yeah.
Well, it's gorgeous.
Thank you. But just like being so active, like we're always like running around and like potentially traveling to sketchy places. Like I really only wear it for special occasions. So I basically was just like, yeah, like I don't know, something simple. That's that's like basically
I got her, like, the most,
yeah, that was the prompt.
Yeah, like the most elegant but basic ring I could.
So it's
find,
gold solitaire.
Yeah.
Stunning. Love it.
Thank you.
Yeah. So I had the ring and I was like ready to pull trigger on a photographer, but I was like, I just can't find the spot. I just like didn't feel right about it. And then as I was thinking about paying the deposit, I saw a photographer that we actually met, but I knew them through my friends.
Well, tell them about Hawaii, like the place that you were.
I will.
Okay. Sorry.
Yeah. So these photographers posted that I knew through my friend. They're like destination photographers. My friend got married in Italy. They do amazing work, and we met them at a random concert at Brooklyn Mirage one night. They like
So
offered
random.
to take our picture after the show or something like that.
And normally when someone offers to take her picture, I'm just like, oh.
You're like, are they also going to steal my phone? Like,
Yeah.
Or just like, it's going to be a horrible picture.
Yeah.
You're going to zoom in to my chin
Yeah.
and like
then
get nothing in the
hold it
background.
to the side,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
you're just like, oh no, like.
But these people were like, oh my God, like pick her up and spin her around. Like they were like posing us. I'm like, wait, what is happening? It's like 1 a.m. in like
Yeah.
Brooklyn. And we're just like, what
And,
is happening?
Yeah, the pictures were amazing. We
Yeah.
were like, what? Like,
Yeah.
who are you guys? And they gave us like their handle, and then I made the connection. Like, oh my God, you shot my friend's wedding.
We found out that they like did van life and they're like destination travel wedding photographers. And we're like, oh.
Spoiler alert, they're doing our wedding.
okay,
so-
yeah, amazing.
Yeah.
Connection photography, shout out.
Yeah.
Amazing.
But I saw them post that they were going to be in the Italian Dolomites the week of June 22nd, and I immediately DM'd them and I was like, hey, I need a spot with you guys. Can you get me one? And they were like, yes. And I was like, okay, cool. all in on that. I essentially, like, before we had flights, like,
he secured
booked
the photographer before we even knew we were
Yeah.
going on a trip there. Like, I didn't know that we were going to the Dolomites. Like, but
And then the next, like, week, I was like, hey, Cara, like, what do you think about, like, the Dolomites in June? Like, it was a bucket list trip for us anyway. So I was just like, I think we should do it this year. Like, let's just go for it. And I made it seem like supernatural, I think.
Did you have any idea?
You thought you were coming. You thought I was doing it in Hawaii, though, right?
yes, that's why I'm
So-
waiting for you to say the Hawaii thing before I say that.
Good thing we didn't do it in Hawaii, because the spot that I was gonna pick was, we still went there. It was like a 2-mile hike up, but it was
Yeah.
like crazy elevation. Like, we were climbing up rocks and like mud and stuff like that. And then we got to the top and it was like 75-mile-per-hour winds.
We didn't even get
We
to the
couldn't
top.
stand
We got to what we considered the top and turned around. Like,
Yeah.
we have never
It was one
turned
of the
around
only
on a
hikes
hike.
that we could not.
We literally
like, finish
bailed. We're
to
like,
the
this
very
is
end.
this is not safe.
Yeah.
We literally could not stand up, and the ridgeline was like this big.
Oh, no.
I'm like, I'm gonna be blown away.
So,
like
like,
I
if
literally
I had-
was holding on to like tree roots.
I was like, Cara, don't stand up. And if I had like a ring and I like let go of the ring, I think
Gone.
it would have just
Gone.
flown.
And like,
my
forget
God.
about
Like,
photos. Like, the photos would have been us like laying on the
Yeah.
ground, like with everything everywhere. Like, so it worked out.
That part worked out.
Yeah. So I thought it was gonna be on Hawaii.
because
in
at this
Hawaii.
point, this is 2023, right?
Yeah.
So we'd been dating for 5 years.
5 years.
Yeah.
Oh, that was our thing. It was our 5-year anniversary. We were going to Hawaii for our
Yeah,
5-year
yeah.
anniversary. So I thought it was going to happen then. But then for the Dolomites, I like,
It's like, she was
But,
like,
like-
if it wasn't Hawaii, it has to be this.
so everyone's like in the video, I'm sure you've seen, everyone's like, oh, like you're wearing white. You knew. Almost everything in my suitcase was white on that trip. Like, I had only white outfits essentially because I wanted to be wearing white. And I like had a feel like I knew that the hike that we were going on was like the spot in the Dolomites. So I like had a feeling, but like obviously never knew for sure. And I also
How were you planning this with the photographers? Were
So
they like
I'm-
at a set
I'm
spot?
texting them. They were driving from like a nearby hotel. We were actually at the end of a 3-day hiking circuit with no service really. So I got like,
couldn't check the weather.
I literally went outside. They call them like refugios. It's like a mountain hut
Like,
where it's like
it's Italian for mountain hut.
it's
You
only
literally can only get
hikers.
to them by hiking. Like, you can't drive to them.
Yeah. So we were just out in the middle of nowhere sharing a bunk bed in the hostel room the night before, waking up for sunrise. And I like managed to get 1 bar of cell reception. And I sent coordinates to the photographer like, hey, here's the trailhead. I'm going to be on the trail at exactly 5:15 or whatever it was.
Because it was sunrise.
Trail behind me by 50 feet and act like other hikers. And then I lost like signal and I was like, I hope this works.
Let go and
Like,
let God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope they're
And
there in the morning.
Did you see them at all or
I
no?
did. So
Okay.
I looked
There were
back.
like other
I would
hikers.
be
It's a-
sweating. I would be
Yeah.
Yeah.
panicked.
Yeah.
Like, that
I was-
is.
I
Honestly,
was-
he kept us cool.
I was freaking out. Like on
I
the
couldn't tell that
inside.
he was freaking
And
out.
also it was like when I did get like the bar back like in the morning, it said it was going to rain. And I was like, oh my God, no, this is not happening. Like my photographer's not going to be here and it's going to rain.
Yeah.
But then I feel like for right when sunrise hit, like the clouds opened up and it was literally like the
Stunning.
best lighting we could have ever asked for.
Stunning. Like, everything in the
Um,
Dolomites, just like, I cannot believe how beautiful.
And
It
we
is
had the
there.
place to ourselves, which was crazy. Like we thought there was going to be
There
a
were some
line,
other hikers, but yeah. The photo spot we had to ourselves, which was amazing.
which was insane. And then like as we're running up, it was just wild. Like when you realized you were like, wait, is this really happening? I feel like you like knew it was gonna happen, but then you were
It's
like,
like a
wait,
life
is this happening?
moment.
Actually?
Did you kind of black out a little bit or like?
Oh,
feel like,
I don't remember anything.
Yeah.
I don't even know if I said yes. I think I just was like, is this happening? And he was
Yeah.
like, yeah, it's happening. I was like, right now? And he's like, right now. Like, I think I might have said, is this happening right now? Like 100 times.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And I prepared like a little speech thing, and I actually remembered it.
He
which
memorized the speech.
I
Amazing.
was very.
And he took videos of himself like days leading up to it, practicing the speech.
Aw.
So at least I know what he said.
Yeah.
For-
Oh,
'cause I
that's
have
good.
that
Yeah,
video.
I also blacked out. I remember
Yeah.
nothing. There was it was a Central Park proposal,
Oh.
and it was and I don't know if he actually said any
Well, you
words.
Really?
made it.
I was like, what's happening? Like, I was like going to faint. I was like, what's going on? And he's like, look over there. There's a camera. And I was like, what? And then I basically almost fainted. Perfect. But that's the photo of me like collapsing on the floor.
Oh my God.
And the same thing, I kind of knew it was happening, but until it starts happening, then you have this like out of body experience.
Right. Yeah, right. Exactly.
Yeah, it was wild. The feeling all day was just like, oh my God, that actually happened.
Yeah.
And when was that?
June 2023.
Yeah. Okay, so you've had some time to plan,
which
I feel like is very trendy. Like, you know, having a
long engagement.
A long engagement. I love a long engagement.
Yeah.
And now your wedding is almost, it's
2
like,
months.
by the time this comes out, it's going to be like 2 weeks away.
Oh my God.
Okay. So
I hope we're alive.
Yeah. You guys decided not to have a destination wedding, even though you love to travel. So tell me about that decision.
Yeah. So that's why our engagement was so long, because we really were playing with the idea of having a destination. But like not a traditional like Cancun destination. Like we were thinking like Colorado, or like obviously we could do like the Dolomites and whatnot, but just knowing our families and knowing
or
the
Lake
logistics.
Como.
Yeah, Lake Como.
If we could get on a list there.
Yeah, but just knowing
But those Lake Como weddings, they got huge price tags.
Yeah.
Do they? Okay.
Insane.
Yeah. I think entry point's like $500K.
Really? Okay.
Insane.
Right.
For like the big palaces.
Yeah.
I'm sure you can find a way to do it at other places.
Yeah. Insane. So we were really playing with the idea of doing a destination and just like trying to get our parents on board. It was just like a nightmare. We're like, oh my God, is this just going to be like a year-long fight? So not that
they were against it because they were worried about the travel and the guests.
They're like, it's too much to ask of people, which like I get it. Like people's PTO days are slim. So I get it. Like I love a good destination wedding, but I understand like the resistance to it.
Also, the culture is just so different compared to when our parents got married. They're like, what do you mean we're going to travel for a wedding?
Yeah.
Eventually we caved. We were like, we can't do destination. Let's look at like tri-state area, and maybe we can make people drive like 3 hours. We looked at the Catskills a lot.
We were really gonna pull trigger on the Catskills for the longest time, and we had a venue, but their rain plan wasn't amazing.
So we have the worst luck with weather, except for the Dolomites.
The
Dolomites was great, but like we historically had the worst luck, and we were just like, all right, we're gonna choose this Catskills venue like because the ceremony is so beautiful, but it was outside, and the rain plan was to have the ceremony in the reception room, which like to us is just like,
what was the point of that?
What's the point of having that?
Yeah.
And we made the decision. We're like, we're doing it. We're doing the Catskills.
We'll have the reception outside if it's raining. It'll be like that. Like we don't care. We're committing.
And then we woke up like every single night
in the middle of the night. We'd be like,
5
what
nights in a row.
Downpours.
Yeah. We were just like, eventually we were like, we can't do it.
We can't do it.
So
like it was too stressful.
Did you already put the deposit down?
No.
Okay.
So
we verbally told them like, and
we're like, get the papers ready. Like,
we had the contract in our inbox, but like hadn't signed it yet.
So your intuition told you no. You shut that down, and then you pivoted to look like more local.
Back to our list of 100 venues.
We literally had 100 venues.
Did you tour all of them?
We didn't tour all 100. I think we went on like maybe 12 or 13 venue tours. We really struggled. Like one thing about us,
more 20 plus.
Yeah. We are both very type A, like perfectionist things. Like if our name is attached to something, it has to be good. So and like, you know, like there's so many options and so many different vibes. So we're like, what vibe? Like we couldn't even, not let alone pick a venue. We couldn't even figure out the vibe we wanted, which is another reason why it took us so long.
If you start with the vibe, then that narrows a lot of things down.
But we couldn't even pick a vibe.
I get it.
We're like, do we want like a mansion? Like, do we want garden? Do we want, you know, like beachy? Like
lofty.
Like literally couldn't even decide that.
Ping-ponged so much throughout the process too, even with the smaller decisions, like 3 weeks.
So did you hire
later.
a planner to help you, or are you doing it yourself?
We're doing it ourselves.
All ourselves.
Not even day of?
No.
Our venue has like a maitre d' and like bridal attendants. Like our venue has assured us that like we have everything we need for the day.
I will interject here. Unsolicited advice.
Yeah.
Get someone at least for the day of that can like help you 30 days out. Because if the cake doesn't arrive on, you just need someone who's working for you. It is worth the dollars. Like absolutely, just get someone for day of that handles everything, because if shit hits the fan, you don't want your cell phone ringing or your phone ringing or one of your parents getting called.
Right.
It's worth it.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I'm selling you right now.
Yeah.
And there's so many amazing people that like at different rates for like day of that it is worth the investment.
Yeah.
Right.
And if you could do the planning and the logistics and all of that, totally. But like the day of to like, and usually when you find a day of coordinator, they'll start working with you 30 days before. So you gotta grab someone now.
Yeah. We're right there.
I'm telling you.
We're right there.
Well, we were flirting with getting a planner like throughout the whole process. We're like, we can't do this anymore. Let's hire someone. And we just like ultimately we're like, we still want to make all the decisions.
Which is totally great. And like, but I'm saying for the day of,
Right.
you just having
Ask for
someone
help.
there, it's like an insurance policy. I'm
Literally.
telling you.
Yeah.
And they know about flow and timing. So who's going to be running your timeline, right? Like if something's taking too long, you need like an unbiased third party to come in and say, hey, photo's taking too long. We got to move to this thing. Like they keep the flow so that even if you're A-type personality, like they will be the keeper of it. And that's like super important.
Yeah.
So
I think we need that.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
we can talk
non-negotiable.
offline. I'll send you some names.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Love.
Are you getting married on a weekend, weekday?
Friday.
Okay. So then you have options too, because I feel like people are still available.
The reason why we picked a Friday at our venue was purposeful because we can get in. There's no wedding the night before. So we can get in there at like 8 a.m. and like do all of the makeup on site. They have like a beautiful bridal suite to do your makeup. Also, our entire bridal party is able to sleep there overnight.
Oh, wonderful.
So
If we did Saturday though, what was it? Like
12. We couldn't get in the venue until 12.
earliest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which
maybe
like is
12:30.
barely enough time for like getting ready photos because we're doing a first look. So like accelerated timeline. So I'm like, I just want to like get in there and like have eyes on the place. Like I want to be there and be situated.
Yeah.
So what are the things that you guys decided to invest in? Like where did you focus your wedding budget?
Everything.
Everything. Literally.
So you're having video?
We're having photo, video, and content creation. I think it's a team of 7 people.
Wow.
Yeah. Like we are walking away from this wedding
Definitely
with so much content.
spending on the content for sure.
Yeah.
Okay. And are you doing like a traditional cake, desserts?
Yes, we're doing a tiered wedding cake with sparklers.
Cute.
Yeah, I'm getting my second dress for that. So that'll be my little moment.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And you're having a wedding party?
Yes, we have 6 and 6.
6 and 6, yeah. And then her sister's officiating.
My sister's officiating. Yeah.
And how many guests are you having?
Like 115.
Yeah, 115.
Tried to keep it small. We like the intimate wedding feel. We went to our friend's wedding in Colorado, and it was like the same number, and we were just like, this is like
perfect.
magical. Yeah.
Feels good.
Yeah, it feels good.
Are you doing band or DJ or both?
DJ.
Okay.
Yeah, DJ. I don't know what drove that decision. I think we just wanted.
So
That was one of the first vendors we booked, honestly, and we just
people are surprised by how much it costs for a live band, but it can get really pricey really fast.
We also really like house and like bass and EDM music, and I feel like a DJ is more equipped to play that type of thing than a band is. So that probably is another driving factor.
Yeah. Definitely spending on florals.
Yeah, spending on florals.
What else?
That's one thing I did not know how expensive. I had no idea.
Oh, yeah.
Florals were that expensive.
Yeah.
Well, you got to think about it. Each flower is picked and handled by a person and
Yeah.
styled and cut, and it's
And you can't do it in advance.
No.
Like it has to be done because
like
they
within
die.
24 hours.
Yeah.
It's pretty wild. I mean, I think they can do it like 2 days before and they put them in like big fridges. But.
Yeah.
So is it an indoor venue, outdoor venue, both?
So God willing, our ceremony will be outside in like this beautiful garden with like a big long waiting pool. And we're having like a serpentine aisle, which I'm
Gorgeous.
super excited about. And I don't think anyone has ever done at that venue. I have looked at every single picture. I don't think anyone's ever done it. So I'm super excited for that. So our ceremony will be outside. Cocktail hour will be a mixture of inside, outside. And then the ballroom is beautiful. The ceilings are like, how high are the ceilings?
Like 50 feet. I don't know.
It's
Wow.
insane. Like floor to ceiling windows all around. Almost feels like a greenhouse. So that part will be inside, which like I honestly feel like is for the best, because that was the thing with the other Catskills venue. It was like, oh, like if it's raining sideways, like what do we do? So I'm happy that we're having it inside. Plus it's in August, so it'll be air conditioned and people will be comfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard. August in tri-state area can be like really, really hot. But it sounds like you're getting a little bit of an outdoor vibe with the floor to ceiling windows.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
What were you most surprised about in the planning process?
Most surprised about. I think for me, it was just like how much hand holding we would have to do, like to get the things we want. Like,
Well, if you don't have a planner, who's doing it?
Yeah.
it's just
Yeah.
like it's also hard for us to get our exact vision out onto a piece of paper and say, hey, recreate this exactly. So I understand it's a lot to ask from vendors to give us exactly what we want, but I definitely feel like we just passed the 2-month mark. So I feel like now's when all the vendors are like, all right, let's actually
Finalize.
cross the T's, dot the I's. But for me, it was just like, like getting people to do what we're paying them for, like on the design port, like earlier on was kind of like difficult.
I also don't think any wedding discussion would be complete without talking about social media and like expectations versus reality. Like all of the a lot of the viral weddings you see, like before you're involved in wedding planning process, you have no idea what the price tag is for that. So I think like there was definitely a disconnect for me of like, oh, like that's how much it would cost if I wanted my wedding to look like that. So I think that was also something that really surprised me, is just like how much money people put into weddings, and like they're beautiful, but it's just like, I think comes down to like priorities and like what you want to spend your money on. So I think we invested in some pieces, and then in others like tried to not invest as much, but definitely
Where do you
surprising.
think you saved the most?
Well, we DIY'd like everything
for my bridal shower.
for the bridal shower.
Yeah,
and
I think we did a
stuff,
good job for my bridal shower. And then also the alcohol. We didn't get like the top alcohol package. We're not huge drinkers. So like if your tequila isn't top shelf, like sorry. Like deal with it.
Yeah.
So I think we saved on alcohol. We still have like full open bar, full everything, but just not top shelf.
We'll probably save on the honeymoon, but we haven't started.
Well, that's what I was
going to
ask you next. So,
Yeah.
like, obviously, your whole relationship is around travel.
Yeah.
How are you even picking where you're going, and when are you doing it? And
Good question.
We also should talk about our bachelorette, because we just got
yeah.
back from that last week.
That was
and it
another big decision.
the most epic trip I think we've ever gone on. But first we can talk about honeymoon. We have always wanted to go to Bali. And I feel like in order to go to Bali, you need a decent amount of time.
Yeah.
And weekend warriors, a lot of our trips are like sprints, like 5 or 7 days max. So we're like, all right, if we're going to do Bali, we need to do it right. And we need to go for like 2 or 3 weeks, especially because of the time difference. So it's looking like we're going to do Bali.
And something else like packaged in like on the way or something like that.
to break it up, because that's a
Definitely-
very long flight.
I know.
Oh my
yeah.
God.
It's like, I think, what, 18, 24
I
hours?
think it's
24 hours.
24.
Yeah.
Yeah, with an hour
With an hour
layover.
layover. It's not
Yeah.
even like you have a long layover. Like that's literally just how long it takes you to get there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe
Which is another
stop.
reason why we keep putting it off. Like
Yeah.
that's a long flight. But like it's so beautiful there. And once you get there, it's like pretty cheap.
It is pretty gorgeous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's cool like hotels, like, and hotels will like do the flowers in the pools.
Yeah.
for you and
Yeah,
stuff
we're
like
gonna
that.
have like a flower pool that's like just
But
married.
we also want to mix in an overwater bungalow somewhere, maybe in
Yeah.
the Maldives.
We like to balance our trips with like a relaxation portion and an adventure portion. So I feel like the Bali would be like adventure, and then if we ended up being able to do an overwater bungalow in the Maldives or somewhere like that, then that would be like our
There's really not
relaxation.
much going on in the Maldives. My brother and his wife, that's where they honeymooned, and they
Oh,
went
yeah.
for, I think, 12 days, because that's
a long
also a
time.
trek.
Wow.
And they were like, at the end, they're like, we're bored.
We're bored.
Really?
Like there's
I've heard
literally
that. I've heard
nothing
that.
to do there but
I've heard
just
that.
and everything is brought in. Like there's nothing organically on the island.
Like food wise?
Yeah, I think food and just everything.
Everything.
Like
Wow.
everything.
Well, yeah, if we did the Maldives, it would be for like 3 days.
Yeah, us like when we finally get all
We
of
get
our
bored
content
faster
done
than the
and
average
our,
person,
Our
I
to-dos
think.
done. Yeah, we sit down to relax and 5 minutes passes and we're like,
Now
all right.
what?
Well, Bali
Gonna-
will give you adventure. You can go
Yes.
see the monkeys.
Yeah.
You can go to different beaches.
Yeah.
It's really beautiful there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that
absolutely.
like island right off of the coast with like all the crazy like
Yeah.
ridges.
Yeah.
I forget the name of it.
Yeah. I
We
feel
still
like
have to plan the whole thing. though.
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like with wedding stuff, like our time to shine is the honeymoon and the bachelorette.
Yeah, we just
So-
got back from ours.
Yeah, it
We
was
did-
amazing. We did Lake Tahoe.
Lake
Oh,
Tahoe,
fun.
and we did joint. So we had a boys' house and a girls' house.
The theme was
and-
for my house was Camp Cara.
Yeah.
So everything was like camp themed.
and the boys didn't really have a theme, but
You guys were following along with the camp theme.
yeah, my guys were actually really like good throughout the whole process, like helping out with content too, and like going along with Kara's like ideas. Like we did camp games, so we did like potato sack races.
Oh,
relay
fun.
races. Yeah.
Yeah, tug of war.
We did like a huge, I can't even call it a boat, like a yacht day on Lake Tahoe, which I think was
Crazy.
my life peak. It was so fun and so beautiful. So,
Yeah.
So what part are any parts of your wedding or honeymoon or these events, are they like collaborations with brands? Have you been able to tap into that?
Yeah, for sure.
Which I feel like at the beginning we're like, oh my God, this is amazing. But now that we're combining wedding and content, it's like everything is so like interwoven that it's been a bit stressful, but it's been really helpful at the same time.
Yeah.
I mean, our Lake Tahoe trip would have been like
$35,000.
Yeah, and we like cut that way down. So,
Amazing.
Yeah. We worked with an Airbnb and this other thing called Avant Stay. So we got those two houses comped. And then what else did we get through that?
Just like a few deals, like Truly.
Mhm.
Truly's one of our sponsors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was really helpful in keeping costs down because California can get expensive.
Everything when it comes to weddings can be expensive.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was so epic. And I will say, because we were in separate houses, we were each doing content separately. And it made me realize like, wow, like I need Tristan. Like it was hard to like be doing the content and also modeling. Like normally I'm either doing the content or modeling, but the fact that I was doing the content and modeling without Tristan, I'm like, oh my God, I need you.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
that
you
was
put a lot of trust in your girls to take the right angle. For sure.
Yeah. It was definitely like, we've never really done content alone. So it was definitely a bit of a challenge there, but we made it work.
So what do your friends and family think about what you guys are doing and how, like, now they're used to it, they're a part of it?
Yeah.
Like, what has that experience been for them?
I feel like at first they were all like, what are you doing? What's going on? And now I think they're starting to realize like, oh, like you guys are good. Like, how did you get that shot? Like, what was that?
And
So-
just believing a little bit more in the like feasibility of it.
Yeah.
Like from like like a career standpoint.
Are you talking about, we helped you get your second dress or no? Just
Hopefully. I think we're in
Contract,
conversation.
So we're doing a Catholic ceremony the day before at Cathedral Basilica in Newark.
It is the
Cool.
most stunning
It's amazing.
church.
Like
same photographer?
Same photographer.
same photographer.
Mm-hmm.
The length of the aisle is
Tristan's gonna have a long time to think about this decision.
it's literally the
gonna
length
take
of a
me
football
like
field.
no
It's-
more than a football field.
No, really?
I think so. I think it's what the deacon said. Literally, it's going to take me like a good 2 to 3 minutes to walk from the door to the
Amazing.
altar.
Yeah.
I'm very excited about that.
It's
gonna be
massive.
stunning.
Cara will get her big like church door opening moment.
Yeah.
So you have a dress for that?
Well, that's the dress that I'm like hoping to secure.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Well,
So
Yeah.
yeah, we need to
we'll
get
see
that
what we can do.
dress.
Fairy godmother over
Yeah.
here with the dresses.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot of dresses. You've already worn like 4 white dresses.
This is my
throughout
time
the
to wear
process.
white dresses. Like
Oh,
when
yours
else
is
in
number
your bridal
5.
I'm in my
era.
bridal era. And then another thing that I'm super excited about for the wedding is my second dress. And in addition to doing a second dress change, I'm also doing a wig change because I don't know if you know, I wear a wig. So I'm going to do a short wig with my short dress.
So
I'm
cute.
going to have like a completely different look. And I just know that that's going to be like such a fun moment.
Yeah, I'm excited
Amazing.
for that.
Yeah.
It's gonna get some tears for sure too.
Yeah.
Every time you do that to people, we cry. Like on the boat in Lake Tahoe,
I whipped my wig off because I wanted to jump in. I wanted to jump in the water, and like I can't really jump in with my wig.
literally everyone started crying. It was
Yeah,
like, so beautiful.
it was a beautiful. Like I don't even think anything of it, but like I forget that a lot of people, because I only like came out about my alopecia like 2 years ago. So up until then, like no one knew that I wore a wig. Like I didn't tell anyone. Like it was like my biggest, deepest, darkest secret that like was like my biggest insecurity. So it was like a really, really, really big step for me to be able to like openly not have a wig on. And I'm just like so used to it with Tristan and like our really close friends, so that when like our extended friends see it, it's still probably a little bit like surprising to them. So yeah, that's why there were some tears.
Yeah, well, you did like a grand entrance. Like you walked out from the boat.
Yeah,
and,
and
like,
whipped it off. I'm like, I'm
was-
jumping in the
was
water.
awesome.
Amazing.
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah. So I'm like super excited for that moment at the wedding too. And like part of me is like, I feel like just thinking about my future kids, like I want them to know what their mom looked like in real unfiltered life.
Mhm.
So part of me is like wondering if we can bake in like a bald photo shoot moment for the wedding day as well, because I think that would be like so special and so beautiful.
I love that. Oh my gosh, you're gonna have to share those photos.
Yeah, they're gonna be epic. At our engagement, I took my wig off on top of the mountain, and so I have pictures of me bald, like in nature, and they're very beautiful.
Yeah,
I love that. Well, we're gonna want to see those wedding photos and videos and share them with our audience when you're ready to share them with the world, because I'm sure you're going to be sharing it for a very long time.
Oh yeah, we haven't even started posting our Bachelorette content, and that's going to be insane.
It's coming for sure.
Well, I can't wait to see it, and congratulations.
Thank you.
In these final weeks, let me know how we can help.
Okay, absolutely. Love it.
Thank you.
This has been the Loverly Wedding Podcast. We are hosted by Kelly Khalil, produced by Natasha Barkman, Kayla Fitzgerald, and Jennifer Alvarado. Watch the podcast on YouTube by subscribing to our channel, and you can follow and listen to us on Spotify, iTunes, and every major RSS feed.